guys meet? When and where did we meet? And then you talk about.
Well, Abby and I met in Lawrence, Kansas when I happened to be sitting on a bench in front of Jimmy John's sandwich restaurant towards the late evening, and she walks up, Abby does, and there's a huge crowd of people around, and she has a box of pizza, and she comes and sits right next to me. And from there, we just stuck by each other's side. And we haven't been separable since. It's been a couple years.
Not yet.
It's a marriage of the heart and soul because we've been so connected from the start.
So.
I never really knew my dad, besides the fact that he was an alcoholic and a drug addict. And I mainly lived with my mom for partial of my life until high school. It was kind of an off relationship because of all the different men she dated and all the stupid stuff they've done. The men she was with would do nothing but just molest me and stuff. So that was partial the reason probably why I was put into foster care, to keep me away from that kind of stuff. Foster care was it was okay. I had to switch around to a lot of different families and different youth shelters and stuff and hospitals. It was really rough changing different homes, and it screwed up my whole perception on what a family really was. There was kind of physical abuse in a way that was used as punishment for me and my brother.
If I may excuse myself for a second.
With one of the men she dated, they would use a paddle and spank us with that, and it had holes in it, so that shouldn't really have been used for a punishment. It should have been something completely different. Because when you hit kids when they're young and stuff, it throws off their misconception of learning it better. I was on medication until 18, from when I would say 9th grade to about 18. Well, with the medication, it was just keeping me from who I really was. It was changing my moods. It was controlling my moods for me to where it was trying to make me happy all the time. And it just didn't feel like the real me when I was on medications and stuff that was prescribed to me for all my mood disorders and everything. The medication they basically gave me is stuff prescribed by the government who owns the company and shit. It was just to control kids who were in foster care and who are mental and have very bad mood disorders. Like, it was to control them and trying to get them to turn into what most of these people have become, but not going through the same thing to become what the government wants them to.
As I think about the question for a second, the reason I chose to live on the street was more of a show of I can choose to do this whether you want me to or not. It was more of a rebellion at first. And as the years passed for me, it became more of a soul search and a finding of myself and what I really want.
What led me to basically keep living on the streets was to travel and see things that he's seen and stuff that I've never seen before.
So that's why you.
And I experienced seeing the ocean for the first time when I met him.
Abby and I were in La Jolla, San Diego, down south in Southern California.
When I first saw the ocean. You need to wash your head. When I found out I was gonna have a baby was when I didn't have my period. And so we had to raise up the money for a pregnancy test.
On Hollywood Boulevard.
On Hollywood Boulevard. And I come running out the McDonald's bathroom all happy and like in tears of joy. Running across the street to the bus stop where he's sitting and just outbursted like, we're gonna have a baby. And
it was awesome.
I'm 5 months is how far along I am.
Is that indeed?
Being on the streets and being pregnant, it's been a little more difficult because we have a lot more stuff that we need to get and work for and bust our butts to try to feed us as much as we can every day. So it's a little difficult, but not too bad.
Abby and I's plan for what we want to do for us and our family is we want to work with music to a point where I can go down an avenue of being a producer and making a living with music. No matter if I need to find a job in between to hold myself over and to hold over for the baby, music is the final destination.
Mom's box is the final destination.
I would say some of the benefits of living on the street for me in particular, I'd say is the being able to see how small you really are and to be able to humble yourself to the choice that you made in life, to do what you chose to do. My choice was to live on the streets and to meet people and to just play music and have fun and choose to live my life with love the way I wanted to. And here I am now.
Some of the benefits are for me is changing people's perspectives on thinking that most of the people who are homeless are all the same when they're not. Just showing them that hey, I'm not like everybody else, I'm a different person, kind of thing.